Hi, I'm Suzanne Birch. If you walked into the warehouse today, you'd think, oh, this is an amazing Costco-like food program. But you would be really more interested to learn that that's not really what we're about. What BCS is really a financial literacy program. And our goal is to help our families, struggling working families, to be able to reach their financial goals. And we do that utilizing our 4 pillars: food, education, freedom, and legacy. The first is food. Food is the platform that we utilize for our families to build margin into their budgets. So they come in and they shop once a week and get all kinds of wonderful things. And as they are doing that, that's relieving a great deal of stress from them. When our families shop, 2 things happen. First of all, they lose the stress that they feel because they can't feed their families. People need to know they can feed their families. And secondly, it builds that margin into their budget. Money that they would normally spend on food is able to be repurposed towards their financial goals. The next step is education. Once our families have been able to benefit from coming in to shop once a week, they get to meet with Dino Biaggi. That's the education aspect of our program. Dino sits down with them and takes a serious look at their budget and walks through that with them in detail and gives them ideas on what they're doing well or what they could do better. And then he also gets them into our finance classes. Dino becomes their very own personal financial planner and their best friend. And they can call Dino at any time while they're on the program and talk about whether they need to figure out how to utilize their stimulus check or what's the best thing to do with their savings account. Dino is always there for them. Our Restart class is really a great tool for our families too. It's very important that we provide them with the tools they need to succeed. Dino teaches those classes and does a fabulous job. So BCS really is much more than just a food program. It builds a community. Our community of families, 600 families right now, we have a very symbiotic relationship with our families. As they receive, they also give. And they do that in 2 ways. They pay a small service fee of $80 a month, which is not associated with anything they receive. And that $80 a month pays 65% of our operational costs. They also contribute to the organization by serving 2 hours a month. That's one of the best parts of the program, is they get to really interact with each other. They get to learn more about the inner workings of BCS, and they become part of the answer to their friends that they're working with. It's a very unique organization in that it's mutually beneficial to everyone who's involved. We love BCS. We love our families. We get excited about what they're doing here, and we hope that you are going to learn to love BCS too. Thanks so much again for coming today.
Good evening. Welcome to the Birch Community Services auction, our very first auction. We are so excited. We have been having an absolute blast watching all the activity this week, watching things change, watching the bidding wars. It's really fun. We've been getting some texting between the bidders who are a little stressed out about someone beating their bids, but we've been having such a good time, much better than Netflix. I just want to say that. But we just wanted to take a quick minute to thank you all for being here, for showing up, and also for everyone who donated items. We have some amazing items that came in, and for the volunteers that have all come together to make this happen. I do want to point out that Andrew and I are standing close together, very close together, but we have both been vaccinated, and so we're one more step to freedom. Really excited about that. I'm looking right now at volunteers right in front of me that have spent time getting this ready, and we've had volunteers doing photography, videography. Many of our participants have jumped into the action and been really excited about participating in that way. But we really want to thank you, our bidders, who have joined together to support the work of Birch Community Services. Thank you. So Andrew, take it.
Yeah. So first and foremost, I wanted to thank Suzanne. We could not do this without her leadership. She's remarkable. Anyone who's ever met her knows this. And really, truly, if her and Barry, 29 years ago, hadn't just been servants. Just had true hearts to serve people. We wouldn't be here today, so thank you. It means a lot. All right, so auctions. I love auctions so very much, and I'm so excited to be able to tell you guys a little bit about what we're doing. There's a couple things I want to get into first that are even more exciting in my opinion. So not everybody knows this, but last year we had 13.8 million pounds of food come through the warehouse. And that's incredible. That's a little over 3 million pounds more than the previous year. That is an abundance, a huge blessing, so that we can pass that on to so many families. And the reach is really immense. So anybody who's ever donated food to Birch, thank you so much. Really appreciate it. Okay, so let's get into a couple items in the auction. First and foremost, this is a hot ticket item right now. The raffle itself is at almost $3,000. That's incredible. So a reminder, that closes at 7:30. So if you want to get into that, by all means, go for it. And now, I know a lot of you guys are probably sick and tired of not being able to travel. So we have a few items in there to be able to travel, some packages. Mexico, who doesn't want to go to Mexico? I might go to Mexico. I think I might bid on this. 4 days, you get to pick the resort. It's going to be incredible. So definitely get into that. But, and this is really exciting, Suzanne made a beautiful quilt. Here it is. It's so big. Truly, it could be a tent, and it's enormous. And I can't even pretend to show you all of it, but it is, oh my goodness. It's, yeah, beautiful. She put a lot of work into this, and it shows. So if you want to get into that action, by all means do.
And anyone can do that. All you need is like a year at home with nothing to do. And this has been my COVID project. Lots of fun.
True. Okay, now we're going to get back into the real reason why we're here. So in a moment, we're going to watch a video of one of our participants and just see the work that we're able to do here. Thank you.
So what inspired me to join Birch to begin with was really our tight situation. My husband opened up a cleaning business, and we had just had my son. I was helping him, and then it's like all of our business went away right away. It just disappeared, and I was going through the cupboards and there was nothing there. And I was like, I had been stretching everything, like everything that we had. And I didn't want to admit it, like even to my husband. And we don't have anything to make food with. And he was like, well, maybe just look at going into a food bank. And I was shocked at his answer because I'd volunteered at one, but I'd never been to one. And I just felt so bad, like awful. Even I had gone into the bathroom and cried, and then on my whole way there and whole way back, I'm like, is this what life has come to, you know? Is this where we're at? And so when a friend told us about Birch, I was kind of hesitant at first because I thought, oh, is this going to be like my food bank experience? But I made an appointment and then came, and everyone was really kind, and you could tell something was different. And at that moment, I didn't really know what it was. It just seemed like it was an answer to our immediate circumstances of like, this is something sustainable for our home. So initially it was this emergency response. And then as time has gone on, it's just grown where we're like, wow, we can look at this as a sustainable, bigger picture. This is something that we can be a part of to really help our business grow. As an inspiration overall, as we've been a part of this community with Birch, it's a community. People are treated with respect. We just have continued to really fall in love with Birch of what it provides for our family. It relieves that stress of like, what are we gonna make? What are we gonna cook? And even to the point where my husband's like, people look at me and they're like, what do you have? Like, well, what's in your lunch, you know? Birch just helped us in so many ways. I think from the daily figuring out how to prepare certain meals. For me as a mom, I have all of these hats that I wear. Not only am I the cook, not only for breakfast, lunch, and dinner and snacks, but also I'm the educator, and I'm trying to put everything together in the household with flow, and it relieves so much of that pressure of just trying to figure out what are we going to put together. Long-term picture, meeting with Dino and doing the financial planning, that has really helped us. It's even helped our mindset of really looking at, we're like, maybe we should do minimalist. We haven't gone there all the way, but that's something that we've played with, this idea of like, we don't need all of this stuff. It's almost bogs you down of like, how are we living our lives? Are we spending our money wisely? Is it going towards our family priorities? So bringing all of it into a bigger picture of, okay, you have your daily needs met, but you also have this bigger plan. And for us, we are working on our family business, and so everything that we have that's a little extra seems to be going that direction, but we realize we have to plan also for our own household, and so balancing that, and Dino's been really helpful in us looking bigger picture for both of those things. Just looking at this as a learning experience of, okay, we are going to be open to what resources that we have available, and we're going to be open to receive these things. And it's okay if these are things maybe that we should have known, but not being ashamed of that and just coming as we are and being like, okay, here we are. Obviously, we need some help, and being open to that. We get to be a part of this, and we get to give back. I think that's so powerful, to be able to give back even to your fellow shopper. You know, you don't maybe know who they are or know a lot about them, but it's just, it becomes this overwhelming kind of flow because you've experienced the goodness here.
Welcome back, everyone. What an incredible story. Lisa, such an amazing family and person, and truly, it is such a joy, and I know I speak on behalf of all of the staff and the other volunteers, it's such a joy to be able to serve families just like Lisa and hers, and unbelievable, really the privilege that we get to be a part of that. So Valerie's going to tell you a little bit more really about the things that we're doing.
Yeah, first of all, we want to thank you all. We are thrilled that we have already raised over $25,000 tonight. Yeah. So that's very exciting, and we just appreciate all of you watching. And one thing you might not know about Birch is that Birch is actually 70% financially self-sustainable. Mm-hmm. So we only raise about 30% of our operating budget through donations, and the rest is funded through participant service fees, our recycling revenue, and other revenue streams. So we are only raising about 30% of our operating budget, mm-hmm. and also for some special projects, which right now we're looking into expanding our cooler, which Andrew will tell you a lot more about that later.
I'm very excited.
Andrew, are you excited about a new cooler?
I could talk for an hour. I won't, but I could.
So before that happens, I just want to remind you, if you need help for any reason, if bidding isn't going well for you, if you're having technical difficulties, feel free to text the number that's on the homepage of the auction website, and someone would be happy to help you. Or you can also email bcs@bcsi.org, and we'll get back to you and try to make sure that this auction is a smooth experience for you. Just a reminder, raffle tickets, they do end at 7:30 so that we can announce the winner before the end of this show. Right now we're going to watch another video from a participant.
When COVID-19 started, one of my first concerns was, how is this going to affect Birch and then in turn our family? I was overwhelmed and so thankful to see that the donations are still coming in, and this has been a place of safety, and I love how Birch has felt like a safe place. My husband works in the auto industry, and probably my favorite thing about coming to Birch is that very first year when we found out about the boot program, he was able to replace some boots that were actually not safe for his workplace with ones that were much better. That has been a huge resource to our family. So during our time here at Birch, we have managed to pay off one credit card, and we now have a savings account One of the best things that Birch does well, they do a lot of things well, but is integrating all of us who are participants in volunteering. They make it easy for people to access, but also we have responsibility, which I think is very important. I appreciate that my kids are able to witness what the community is doing to help others and how we are responsible for part of how Birch runs and the example that it sets for them.
Hi everybody, thank you so much for being a part of this. Really exciting day. My name is Andrew Roulette. I'm the operations manager here at Birch Community Services. I want to tell you about a couple things that are really exciting. I'm very excited about it and I know you're going to be as well. So over the last decade, we have seen an incredible increase in food and various donations. Actually, almost doubling what we got from 2010 to now. We're in the same building, you know, we're still serving people, but man, our generous providers, they are just doing such a remarkable job. And that's what I want to talk about today. So we are working on expanding our cooler. So it has been a very long time, almost 15 years now, since we expanded our cooler last. We have the opportunity now to double our capacity. So all of that wonderful food that's coming in, we want to do a really good job and make sure that we're honoring those generous donations and really protecting the integrity of all those donations so that it can get to the nearly 650 families that we're serving right now. Something that's also really exciting that doesn't get a lot of attention, we also serve almost 80 nonprofit agencies in the area. So those are food pantries and women's shelters and just a long list of other places that need that food. And we have a really fun opportunity to pass that on to them as well. It's estimated that about 20,000 people every week are receiving that food that's coming through Birch. I mean, that's incredible. And I think a lot of people just don't know about that. So today, as you're having fun going through all of the auction items and really just hopefully going on those vacations and everything, keep in mind that a portion of those proceeds that we're going to be raising are going to be going towards that cooler. And that cooler is going to be able to double our capacity, double the area that families are able to shop, and most importantly, allow us to continue doing the really important work that we're doing right now. So thank you so much for being a part of that, and let's have fun. I'm excited. Hi everybody, thank you so much for being a part of this. Really exciting day. My name is Andrew Roulette. I'm the operations manager here at Birch Community Services. I want to tell you about a couple things that are really exciting. I'm very excited about it and I know you're going to be as well.
I'm Linda Schlechter, Director of Crossroads Food Bank, and we do receive food from Birch every week, thank goodness. Our mission is to provide food for the needy, one food box at a time. We are serving 270 families a week via Drive Up, 150 homeless veterans with our partnership with Do Good, and also in the near future, we're going to partner with a battered women's shelter. Birch has helped us immensely. We couldn't do the outreach that we are able to do right now without the partnership with Birch. With COVID and the job loss, there is a real need for food, a need that we've never seen before. And we've been in business since 1989. Most of our food comes from Birch. We received 100,000 pounds last year, and hopefully we'll receive 100,000 or more this year. We would have food enough for probably 50 families. We wouldn't be able to take care of the veterans. We wouldn't be able to do the outreach that we do. Thanks to Birch, we're able to stay in business, basically.
Welcome back. All right, those videos were incredible, except for the one I'm in, which is fine. But I wanted to thank Lauren, our participant, just such a beautiful story, and Linda from Crossroads. I personally love working with the agencies. I get to hear all of the amazing stories and really truly the reach that the food is accomplishing. I mean, it's pretty mind-boggling to think that basically every week it's reaching about 20,000 people. And that's remarkable, and it's such a privilege to be able to be part of that. You may have noticed behind me in that video there was a fun truck with a brand new wrap. So we just got that wrap. We're really excited about it. And we're actually going to be using that wrap on all of our trucks, including the brand new truck that we just purchased at our last fundraiser. So thank you everybody who was involved with that. I'm really excited about that.
Yeah, and especially thank you to our sponsors who have their logos on our new truck. We're really excited to rewrap our whole fleet, not just our new truck. So Capacity Commercial, Sales Acceleration, EPB&B Insurance, and the Truck Depot. Thank you so much for having your logos on our truck. And if anyone else is interested, feel free to contact us because we have a few more trucks to go and we're really excited. Now we're going to hear from Amber, who was part of Birch about 10 years ago. And we recently have a video of her reflecting back on her time as a participant.
My husband and I were both very blessed to have good financial examples in our parents. And so we were making good choices, but we were just really struggling to make ends meet. So we were living paycheck to paycheck. We had 2 small children. We had 2 boys, ages 6 and 8. And it was really important to us that I was staying at home with them. And so when they were in school, I would work, but when they were home, I was home. And I lost my very part-time job, and we were just not sure how we were going to make ends meet. And that is when I learned about Birch. Birch was so instrumental in our lives in just taking us through a time when I really don't know what we would have done without it. It provided so many needs and so many wants. There were many, many times that I would, on my way to Birch, would pray about the things that we needed, and they would be there for us. Things that, like, if they weren't there, I would need to go to the grocery store to pick them up because I needed them for a recipe that I was doing for like an event we were going to or something that we like had to have that item. And then some things were like clothing items that I needed for school, for my boys and things like that. And then there were those wants. It wasn't something we needed, but it was something that we wanted, and God used Birch to provide that for us too. So after we had been on the program a while, we had been wondering if it was time for us to move on from Birch. And then my husband got the opportunity to change careers. He'd been really unhappy in his job, and as I'm sure a lot of you know, that when someone in the home is unhappy with their job, it affects everyone in the family. And he had once told me that the thing that he wished that he could have done, if he could have done it all over again, was to be an electrician. And so that opportunity came up, and we looked at our finances, and he was going to take a very, very significant pay cut because he was going to be starting at the very bottom. And we looked at our finances and we thought, with Birch, I think we can do this. And so he took that leap and he did it. And so it was a 5-year process going through the apprenticeship. And there were times when I can't even tell you the amount of times that we would look at what was on our table. And I would say, like, all of the things on our table came from Birch. I think Birch Community Services is an amazing place that so many different people can benefit from. I think whether you're struggling financially because you are swamped in debt, or whether you are living paycheck to paycheck because you just don't make enough money to make ends meet, I think Birch can help you. And if you are thinking of donating to Birch, it is such a worthy cause. It's a unique program where participants are accountable for their decisions, and it's not just coming and getting food. It's about financial education, and it's about moving forward and leaving a legacy for their families. And I believe in Birch, so much so that I now count it a privilege to be able to work there.
All right, well, I'm really glad that you all get to see some of my favorite people. I get to work with Amber every day. I call her IT Amber, because if there is an IT problem, she's the one I go to continuously, I might add, because I know nothing about those things. I'm so grateful for her because she loves a challenge, and she's a real joy to work with. And also, I mean, my whole staff, you're getting to a piece of them today. You're going to see a piece of them, but they are fantastic. Over half of our staff have been previous BCS participants. They've been on the program. They understand what it's like to be in a hurting place, and they have such a heart for the people that come. And I love the way they serve our participants. It's really a joy to see that.
Yeah, it's really beautiful to be able to talk with some of my colleagues and just kind of listen to their story and realize how far they've come and how they just want to pass that on to all of the different participants on the program. Some of you might know this. I was actually a participant back in my early 20s. I had been in an accident skiing and overnight accrued about $30,000 of medical debt, and I couldn't work. And I got a phone call a few days later, and it was Barry and Suzanne, and they said, well, Andrew, why don't you come join the program, and let's get you out of that debt. Let's get you back on your feet and moving forward. And I can say with an immense amount of gratitude that in under a year, I had that all paid off. There was a lot of things that took place to make that a reality, but really biggest piece was Barry and Suzanne in this program. So I want to give you a quick update. We'll transition from that about how we're doing in this auction right now. I just got word that we just surpassed $30,000. Wow. Oh my goodness. That's incredible. Yes. Thank you, everybody. That is absolutely amazing. Also, if you were about to do the 50-50, it is over. So we'll be drawing that a little bit later. So the 50-50 is done. And now we're going to go ahead and hear from Dino, another one of incredible staff members, and get to hear what he has to say.
Thanks for joining us this way. Typically, we would do this in person. I just want to introduce myself. My name is Dino Biaggi. I'm the Financial Literacy Manager. One of my fascinating concepts around Birch is the idea that wherever you're at as a family, in terms of what you're trying to pursue, what you're trying to do, there's space for you. One of the joys that I have, and actually the highlight of what I get to do, is to sit with families and hear their story. The story drives the math. And if I can understand the story, I can understand how to help fix the math a little bit. If I sit long enough with them and I begin to hear the frustrations, the pains, the anxieties, the fears, the guilt from previous decisions, then I can actually enter into really what I sometimes call sacred ground with them, which is heart-to-heart stuff, which is actually where the root of the issues are. Then we can begin to create a practical roadmap to big picture stuff, not just how do I save money on my insurance bill, but where do we want to go in the next 10, 20, 30, 40, 50 years, and how do we begin to pursue that? And I'm always here. So I tell families, like, I'm here as a resource. If you've got a question, and if you want another opinion, or you need another set of eyes on a situation, please let me know. I'm here for that. That's why I'm here. Not all adults are clueless about how to handle money. Like, most of the families that we interact with have a really good understanding of how things work. And so the class is really asking them to look at what part of the financial plan isn't working. What part needs a restart, which is the name of our class. And then we dive into the practicality. So the class is kind of two parts. Second part is the mechanics: budgeting, systematic debt reduction, savings, family meetings, which is more about a mechanism to help instill family values, practically speaking, insurance, credit, tracking money, all that stuff. But it's really built on two big ideas, which is the heart of the class is stewardship. How do we manage what's been entrusted to us? Because it really does matter what we do with our time, our talents, and our treasure. And then the second component is, what's the family vision? This is the part that I get most excited about, because it's the part that helps breathe life into families. It's the why to what we're doing. It's because then when we live in alignment with those values, we have authenticity and integrity, and the math works better.
When I started Birch, we'd been at 2 substantial family incomes and had the bills that went along with that. And then went through a series of pretty heavy losses. My sister, my daughter, my job. And then as I tried to get back into the workforce, my mom had a stroke and I had to quit and take care of my mom. And so we went from a 2-family income to a 1-income family. I was 2 months behind in my mortgage payment and I just didn't know what to do and had no other options, had to take care of my mom. That's when I was introduced to Birch. We have completely turned our situation around. We are still a 1-income family because that became our priority. We don't have any more credit cards, and the ones we do use, we get to pay it on payday. Our goals of fixing up our house to sell for retirement and things are becoming very slowly, but they're becoming to pass. For me, the knowledge that I've learned through the Restart program and having the access to can and store and do things long term have been very beneficial for our family. Birch has helped me to realize where my spending can improve and where the saving really needs to improve. Access to clothes for the grandchildren that I have in my home, being able to plan for the future and actually possibly retire a little more comfortably than my mom got to because of the knowledge that I've gained. It will help me for the rest of my life, even when I don't need the program. It's kind of a family. You get to know people, you work with people, they get to know you and your needs and help each other out where you can. I guess my favorite part is knowing that I have the tools and I can get help whenever I need to continue to build my future to look brighter financially. Dino's resource has been amazing to me. I need a new roof, and this summer I started looking at options, and one of the things was to email Dino and say, hey, this is what's going on, what do you think of my plan? To refinance right now because the interest rates are down, and get a line of credit and use the equity we have in our home, and instead of using up our emergency fund, which we've been able to create so that we still have the emergency fund and a new roof.
I've worked with Kelly numerous times when she's been a volunteer, and I can tell you, heart of gold. So that story, just every time I see it, I'm not one to cry, but it's certainly, I feel some warmth. So yeah, incredible. So now we're gonna do something very, very new for Birch. We've never done this before. We're gonna do a paddle raise. It's gonna be virtual. And here at Birch, we know that giving is a very personal decision, and we want it to be that way. And we just want to be able to give the opportunity, if you feel led, to participate during this paddle raise. So Valerie, tell us about it.
So if you have your second device out, so keep us on your first device on your screens, but on your second device, you should be able to navigate to a tab that says Virtual Paddle Raise. So if you're on a computer, that'll probably be a tab at the top. If you're on a phone, it will probably be the hamburger menu on the side and clicking Virtual Paddle Raise. There's also a link from our main homepage. And once you get there, you should see a button that says $1,000. So if you would like to raise your virtual paddle by just clicking that button, it's completely anonymous. Your name won't pop up for everyone to see, but if that's an amount that you would like to give to help support Birch Community Services and all of the families here working on their finances, that would be one way that you can participate tonight.
Yeah, and what is so great is, as I said earlier, we're over $30,000 raised so far, and that's amazing, unbelievable. And what's really exciting is we found out that our cooler expansion is going to be about $70,000. So we're moving in a really solid direction, and that's really exciting. Just the impact that's going to be able to accomplish. So thank you again for everybody who's participating. Now, if you look at that same screen, there's going to be another button that pops up. So $500 this time, if that's something that you just feel led to contribute in that way, we appreciate it so much, and that's amazing. But we don't want to leave it at 500. We also want to be able to jump right in and do 250. So that button will pop up there as well. So again, if $250 is just really where your heart is at, we'd love for you to be able to participate in that way.
And like Andrew said, this is really a great opportunity for us. We are really looking forward to expanding our coolers, having more shopping space for our families, more place to keep that fresh, good, healthy, perishable food for people to come shop, that dairy, that meat, and produce. People love the produce here. It's really great to be able to provide that. Now we have at our next level actually a really special offer from an anonymous donor wanted to match any donations at the $100 level. We had a donor offer to match up to $2,500 anyone who clicks the button for a $100 donation. So you should see a $100 button pop up. And anyone who would like to donate $100, that will be matched. So while that's up on your screen and you're thinking about it, we're going to watch another video from a participant.
We have been part of Birch for just a little bit over a year now. We came when we were kind of going through a challenging time financially and just trying to piece everything together of what our next steps would be. And my wife, Michelle, was actually the one who introduced Birch to myself, because I didn't know anything about Birch. I hadn't heard about Birch, and I was a little nervous coming here for the first time. And I will tell you, within the first couple weeks of me being here, really I think it's more so the first couple months, I really felt that just this comfortableness here, not only with the other people who come and shop, but with people who come and volunteer their time with the staff. And it's turned into a great experience because I've gone from just being part of Birch to really being part of Birch. It's really developed into something really awesome for me. Birch has really been a godsend to my family. I was not aware of Birch and aware of the resources that they offered. My family has been working through a lot of challenges financially over the past several years, and Birch has really just brought a relief to us in terms of shopping for just your basics like groceries, for sundries. It's also helped me in a social aspect as well. You know, we're all dealing with COVID and having to kind of navigate how to do things. And by being an employee here, I get to come and spend some time with some awesome people who work here, who give their time here to volunteer, whether it's on a weekly basis or just a once a month basis. And just that social outlet for me has been huge. I get to meet all kinds of cool people and share stories, take time to pray, take time to work, and it's been just an awesome time. My favorite part about Birch would be a combination of getting to work with so many awesome people and just feeling the presence of the Lord and how it's directed here. A prime example is people who come to give their time to volunteer. You know, for myself, I don't know how their day's been. I don't know what they're going through. I don't know what they're walking through, but we're able to kind of get a decent read on folks. And sometimes you can just feel like that person just needs to have a 5-minute conversation with you, or maybe they need prayer for something, or maybe they just need, you know, just an open hug, you know, since we're social distancing. But just those things, just getting to spend time with folks and build those relationships, not only with volunteers, but with staff as well. That is probably one of my favorite things. Birch is a place of joy. It's a place of happiness, and it's not just a place.
Okay, so complete transparency. I had never seen that video about Neil, and I'm so glad I just watched it. Love that guy. I'll tell you, I've never seen somebody who can smile so much. If you ever get a chance to volunteer, just go volunteer with Neil. You will absolutely walk away feeling like you're on cloud nine. I mean, he is incredible.
Neil puts us all in a good mood.
Yes. Oh my goodness, that's incredible. Okay, with that being said, we're going to go ahead and move on to $50 for our paddle raise. So it's going to go ahead and pop up on the screen. And if you're feeling led, again, $50 is wonderful. I mean, every bit helps. I mean, truly. And and it goes a really long ways. And I know if you donate $50, Neil is going to be smiling ear to ear. So well worth it.
And thank you so much to everyone who pressed the $100 button. We do have a little bit of a delay here, so but we just really appreciate everyone going for that match. And we did just have a message from our anonymous donor who is willing, if the $100 match is not met up to $2,500, they will extend that match to the $50 button. So if you press that $50 button, if the $100 match was not met, the $50 donations will also count towards that match. So you can think about pressing the $50 donation button if you would like to help support in that way.
Wow, no kidding. Well, that's incredibly generous. And now I think we are actually going to do the $25. Yeah, that's right. So $25 is going to pop up on the screen as well. So if you're feeling led, that's wonderful. Thank you so much for doing that. And it really helps everything we're doing here. And it's because of you guys. Somebody once told me that really generosity is the fruits of gratitude. And we are so grateful to be able to pass on your generosity to people that really need the help and want the help. So thank you for being a part of that.
And the $25 button will be our last virtual paddle raise of the night. So thank you to all who are participating. And I know that some might think, well, $25, what can that do? Especially when we're talking about raising larger amounts. But $25, like we said earlier, we're 70% self-sustainable. $25 is about the amount that it takes to fund a family for a month on the program. That's 4 weeks of shopping here. That's about $1,000 of groceries. That's financial education, financial one-on-ones with Dino. So even participating at $25, it might not seem a lot, but it's a lot to us, and it still means a lot. So thank you. No matter which button you press, or if you're not participating tonight, but thank you so much for everyone, just for the contributions.
Yeah.
And now we're going to watch, we're almost at the end of our program. The bidding will stay open until 8 p.m. With anti-sniping in effect. So if any bid is placed within the last 5 minutes, the bidding for that item will automatically extend another 10 minutes. And the only limit to that is your wallet. So it could go all night long if you would like it to. We won't stop you. But with that, we're going to watch our last video from a participant.
We were between jobs, both my wife and I looking for work, and that was the point at which a friend began to introduce us to this community called Birch. As we put our effort into making the most of what we had to work with, the stability of having the community here, Birch community, has just been a godsend for us. Knowing the community of care here, knowing the participants, knowing the partnerships among the various service providers and seeing that come together day in and day out, it's been an inspiration to know that, yes, people are aware that this resource is here, and when there are people in these in-between seasons in life, they're happy to point them towards Birch Community Services. There's no question this is making a difference in lots of people's lives every single day. We were between jobs, both.
Hi, welcome back, and thank you all again so much. We are just so excited for all the participation we've had, not just tonight, but over the past week. It's been really exciting, so thank you. Again, bidding closes at 8, so you have a little bit longer to get your last bids in. If you do win an item, you will receive an email, and you'll get more details. You'll receive an email from the auction website. It'll say from Birch Community Services. You'll also receive an email later from me, Valerie Rippey, the Community Development Manager, with instructions on how to pick up your item. But they are available tomorrow here at the Birch Warehouse from 10 a.m. to 5 p.m. or also Monday from 10 a.m. to 5 p.m. Or if those times don't work, you can just arrange another time to pick them up from us. So we're really excited to see some of you out. So make sure to check your email. Also, your card will not automatically be charged. So you will receive an email after the auction items have closed saying your final tab, and you'll have to click checkout for it to check out and charge your credit card. If you don't want to charge your credit card, if you would rather pay with a check when you pick up your items, that's totally fine. Just let us know. And now we have a really exciting announcement for our 50/50 raffle winner, which I believe is right around $1,700. Suzanne, who won the 50/50
All right,
raffle?
we really need a drum roll, but it's the peanut gallery back there. Thank you, guys. All right, so our winner is Linda Kunrath. So thanks so much for all your support. And I think that's a really fun thing. I won a 50/50 raffle once, and it was super exciting for me. So I know how that feels. And I just want to also thank Valerie. This auction was Valerie's idea, and she sort of drags me around by the collar and says, I think we ought to try this. And I say, I don't know if I'm really comfortable. And she says, but it's going to be okay. It's going to be really fun. And I say, okay, I'll give it a try. And then she does it, and it's fantastic. She's spent weeks, months, many hours on this with help from the staff, and I'm really grateful for Valerie and the work that she does. So thank you again, all of you, for participating tonight and for being part of our fun times and giving us a hoot as we watched our phones like continuously during this event and called out names and numbers and just all clapped together, and we're excited. Thanks again for the work, for helping us support the work we do for the families that we want to help and encourage and move along for sustainability. Thank you again.